two ninjas spoiling movies.
Yeah,
And Brandon Collins.
that's me.
It's just a brand for your movie needs. Medium popcorn.
Woo!
You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it.
Who's the master?
Well, that's your warning.
Uh.
And if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh.
What's up, little biscuits and sun-dried tomatoes? It's your boy Eddie Collins,
Guys, this is Justin Brown.
and we are medium popcorn, the podcast. And
This porky pig ass motherfucker over here. A podcast.
I'm trying to.
You want to try that one more time?
Nope, I don't want to.
No. I want you to try that one more time. Because if you're trying to do it like, oh, you're like a DJ type, that wasn't it.
That
wasn't it.
That was not it. I'm always worried that I'm gonna get a huge platform. And for instance, I was watching Coachella this past weekend, and Donald Glover came out there and Tyler the Creator said, I was just like, oh, but that could have gone poorly, right? But Donald Glover always rises to the occasion, And I was like, but I can see that situation being lined up for me, and then it just goes completely wrong, and then on social media, it's just like that ain't it.
Yeah.
I would be that guy.
Brandon, you literally do that on a bi-weekly basis on this podcast. You do something that was like, what was that? Like, seriously, though, what the fuck was that?
Well, that's what we're all saying after we watched Stolen, the 2012 thriller film starring Nick Cage, directed by Simon West. Also stars Danny Houston, Marlene Ackerman, and Josh Lucas in one of the most unhinged villain roles I've seen in the past millennium.
Like, what the fuck?
We'll get to that. But folks, please do yourself a favor. Go over to Peacock and push play on Stolen. Just so you can join in the insanity that we had to witness.
It's also on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It's free.
Now, we're not endorsing this film yet. You'll get our thoughts on the movie. But if you like Nick Cage and you like Nick Cage insanity, but you also like actors that try to out crazy Nick Cage, Stolen might be your cup of tea. Because Josh Lucas is fucking great. I was texting you. I was like, this is unhinged. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know who the costume designer is. Mind you, Simon West has directed such films as Con Air, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie, and The Expendables 2. So
all dog shit.
Con Air wasn't. Yeah,
no. Con Air is a fun movie.
Yes, but they're all fucking nuts. But yeah, my man, whoever did the costume design with Josh Lucas, because they talked. It's not like they just came up with that concept and he was like, oh yeah, I'll just accept that. They collaborated on that look.
He's like, all right, so Josh, what are you thinking for this character? He's like, I'm thinking a little Matthew McConaughey, and also I don't know, who's the really drunk guy from that movie with the bowling? I don't know, I just can't place it. It's like, got it, say no more. Homeless taxi driver. He looked nuts.
But the thing is, he's like, you took away the one good thing about me. So Josh Lucas is a good looking white guy.
Yes, he is.
He's very conventional looking, a la a old not Robert Redford. I guess you could say Robert Redford. Who was the other gentleman? Paul Newman. Back in the day.
The thing is, he really gives me a not as glamorous Matthew McConaughey vibe.
Okay, I can definitely see that. I can see him getting every role that people wanted Matthew McConaughey for, but he was like, "No, I'm not doing that." And I want to talk about Josh Lucas's career because I don't know if he was just swinging for the fences, if he didn't give a fuck at this point.
But so I don't know whether it's like, hey, it's the Nick Cage effect, Because the Nick Cage effect is like, you're in a movie, Nick Cage is like, all right, can you out crazy the Cage?
But this is the most, I gotta say, this is probably the most tame Nick Cage we've seen.
But that's what I was about to say, Brandon. He did it. he outcaged Cage.
Yeah, because Nick Cage doesn't really ramp up to the third act, and even then it's just one scene versus like the entire like consistent like throughout the film being insane. And this movie takes place in New Orleans, but yeah, Josh Lucas. I mean, he accidentally shoots himself in the leg during the initial heist 8 years before we get to the present day,
Yeah.
right? Even though he tries to blame it on Nick Cage, he's like he shot me, but it's like no, he accidentally shot himself. So we're supposed to posit him shooting himself in the leg and essentially got infected to the point where he had to get it amputated.
Mhm.
And so instead of getting like a regular prosthetic leg or even a wooden leg, this nigga comes out the cab looking like Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. and, just, and he's grown his hair out. He has a little band-aid on his face, like because he's all cracked out and bloodied up and shit. And he's got rotten teeth at this point. I'm like, it's been 8 years, my nigga. Like, you were a good looking dude.
What happened?
What
did you? What happened?
You got addicted to meth? What's going on?
Yeah, he's just like, I owe a bunch of money to a bookie, and these people, no loan shark. Yeah. I'm like, bro, whatever's going on, I think it's about time you just, just hit rehab, or I don't know. You got to start over. You got to start over from that point.
That is very fair. Now, this movie was written by David Guggenheim, who apparently has written movies such as Safe House with Denzel Washington, and was a creator and writer on the 2016 television series Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland. So he's got some credits. This script had fucking insane dialogue.
Yes.
There's one point when Nick Cage gets out of jail, one of like the detectives or some shit is like, I hope you got raped every day. I was like, what?
Yeah. And he's just like, if you're going to give me a ride, thank you. I appreciate that. Like, what do you say to that? Like, and it's not the thing is it's like, oh, this guy's just saying some wild shit. No, he meant that.
Oh, yeah. Like,
and why? Because you stole some money?
He didn't even, but the thing is, they didn't even find the money on him. Okay, let's start at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start at the fucking beginning for this crazy ass movie, which just doesn't make any sense. Logistically, none of it makes sense because it takes place in New Orleans during Mardi Gras.
Yep.
That cat would
Fat Tuesday.
That cat wouldn't be able to drive anywhere. The cat would literally be, the roads would be cut off. He was in the French Quarter.
Yeah,
you can't drive around in that 100%. During Mardi Gras.
Can't do it.
It's insane.
Can't do it.
Okay. Also, white people just do not do well. Like it's because they're so comfortable. It's because they're so comfortable and they feel so safe. That's why all those kids are getting snatched up in the 70s and the suburbs and shit. Because these kids are just like, oh, no one can hurt me. No one. If you are in a taxi cab, my nigga, and a nigga starts talking about King Harold III or some shit all critically and starts talking about the moods are aligning, I'd be like, I need to get the fuck out of this cab.
Well, for one, I am not leaning on the glass. Leaning on the glass. Because it's like, let me get more of this. I need to soak this in. Like, I'm sitting with my back on that seat and I'm ready to get it. I'm right with my hand on the handle.
Mind you, there's a child in the back who's trying to break through the seat. So you have fingers coming through the back seat. I love the children under the stairs or wherever the fuck. Just that was so crazy, man. Anyways, this movie starts in New Orleans. Will Montgomery, Nicolas Cage's character, and his partner Vincent Kinsey, who's played by Josh Lucas, they're doing a heist along with Riley, who is played by Malin Ackerman from Billions. And this fat dude named Hoyt, who's played by MC Gainey. You'll recognize him for sure if you saw him.
Oh, and let me just say this.
What?
Miss Malin Ackerman, she's one too cutie pie.
She's a cutie pie, but they were like zooming in on her ass. I'm like, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And the camera adds 15 pounds. So
yo, when I saw that, I was just like, what y'all trying to do? And like, what is this police officer looking at? Like, I mean, like, listen. She's a beautiful woman.
Beautiful, absolutely.
Keep it right here. You know, she's got a nice little she's got a nice little thing going. She's nice, she's small, she's tight. It's like, but you don't zoom in on that ass. That's wrong.
Yeah, but like, it's also like, there's something there for everybody. There's something for everybody. So just like, but don't force me to linger on it. Just be like, film it at an angle where if you like that kind of flat booty thing, you could be like, oh, flat booty, I like that.
Well, also put her in some jeans which are like semi just flattering.
Well, what's wild is she was in black pants, and
No, those are
most,
baggy ass jeans,
yeah,
or unless they were unintentionally baggy, which it seemed like that could be the case.
well, maybe.
Like it basically, I'm saying it was not a good look. It was
No,
not a good look.
not
And
at
the
all.
director,
Yeah, Simon.
Simon West, you got to do better. They need a female consultant
But he
on
probably
that
thought that
set.
that was
Like,
attractive. He probably thought that that was a cute butt.
now he should. There should be a female consultant that's like, can't do that to her.
It's
The
very
blacks will not be pleased.
it's very odd when you know uh actresses are called on to do any kind of like nudity or show their or like ass or something like that.
Mm,
Because like sometimes it's just like, well, do they know on set like, hey, this might be a meme or like this might be talked about?
mm,
Because I never watched the full movie, but there's a movie apparently with Rachel McAdams and like Harrison Ford or some shit,
mm.
and she shows her ass. She like she's in underwear, but she's got like a fat ass for a white girl, like for a petite white girl.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to go back and
Yeah,
check it
and so
out.
that's why I'm like, but on set, I'm wondering if people are like, oh shit, George or whatever the fuck from Mean Girls, she got an ass on her.
Mm.
We should tell the internet, like, because I'm sure TMZ would pay like a few $100 for that story.
I mean, you remember that? You remember that J Lo movie? The J Lo
Oh yeah,
movie
yeah.
where she let that thing out in those
Oh,
underwear.
the Hustlers or the other one,
The
the
one
one
where
with
she,
Josh Duhamel.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was just like, listen, this whole movie was worth that one scene.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean
It's
that.
weight in gold.
Yeah. Do you know what's surprising is that movie wasn't terrible.
No, it wasn't, but it
It,
wasn't good.
it wasn't good, but if it's like between her just being hot and Lenny Kravitz being hot and funny at the same time, like being kind of out of his mind,
Mm,
like I was into it.
okay.
And that's why like I gotta say, like we're not even scratching the surface on this fucking movie because we haven't even talked about the
You
FBI
don't want
agent.
to.
We haven't talked about the FBI agent Tim Harlan, who's been tracking Will throughout his career. He respects him but doesn't like him. Played by Danny
He admires him.
yes, Danny Huston, in one of the most like one of the worst cop roles of all time. He's incredibly confident, but absolutely gets nothing done.
Mhm.
He be making these profound sounding quotes and shit, but then he always gets got. So it's like you're a moron.
Yeah, it's like yo, he's got your number. Like,
Yeah. It's like in Gone in 60 Seconds when he's like, oh man, he's gonna know if we got a tail on him. It's like you just followed him there, like you got
yeah,
it.
yeah. He's right there, dead to rights. Get him.
That happens so many times in this movie with
Yeah.
Tim. He has these crews dead to rights, and he's like, hold on, everybody. Hold off. Like it's like, but
Not until the four wheels touch that soil in
yeah.
Louisiana. I don't want you to anybody to go over there. And they get me. It's like, oh, he's not no longer like fuck.
But I wrote it before they did the fake out where it's like, Nick Cage and them are at the safe. And then it turns out that the FBI agents are like in another location in
Mhm.
like this building or whatever. And it's like I wrote down my notes. I'm like, why are they waiting? They are witnessing them committing a crime because we haven't yet seen the fake out. So from my angle, I'm like, they should be able to see them committing the crime in the safe.
Yeah.
Like, what are you waiting for? And then it was a weird fake out with too many close-ups. And I realized, oh, this is kind of shitty the way that they like manipulated the scene
Hmm.
for me as a viewer because I'm not like, oh my God, oh shit, it was a fake out. I'm like, that's annoying.
Yeah, you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But it's also the fact is the moment that they broke into that place, the toy store,
Yeah.
they had him.
Yes.
You've done something illegal. You're breaking and entering. It's like no. We want to catch them with the money in their hands because they could send them away for a longer amount of time. It's just like, but is it the fact is like this guy? Excuse me. This guy's a known criminal,
Mhm.
right? He's a known criminal. Bank, a thief. It's just like, wouldn't you just want to take, whatever you can get to get that motherfucker off the streets?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he only got 8 years for assaulting two cops, destroying public property, all the crazy car chasing, all that
Yeah.
shit. They're like, well, we didn't find any money. It was like, that's really what you're going with?
Yep.
Only 8 years for all that shit?
Only 8 years.
And for breaking and entering, like they know the money's gone.
Nick Cage is like the most like he plays the most lucky, privileged white guys. Even when he goes to jail, he still comes out winning.
Yeah.
Like he's smiling at the end of Snake Eyes when he's going to jail. He's like, when I get out, I'm gonna get some Carla Guino pussy.
Yeah.
And I probably got some millions stashed away because I'm a shady dude.
Yeah.
But in this, like, I mean,
buried in a barrel in his backyard.
But in this, he does a fake out with a piece of gold. He throws a porcupine instead or some shit, and they don't double check. They don't keep an eye on him after all this time.
Well, it's just like, so what happened with the gold? Is just like, threw it into the river.
It's so stupid.
It's like, so did you go get it? Nah, we just like knowing that he's on the up and up.
You know for sure that nigga got scuba gear the next day.
Exactly.
Went down and started fucking breaking that gold apart.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Because I remember that when they were like melting the gold. I'm like, oh yeah, niggas just take gold. Like they don't need to get it in the bricks.
Yeah, of course not. Because it's weight.
Which gold bricks are just insane. Like there's that dude that senator I think out of Jersey who got indicted in a bunch of shit, and like apparently he had like gold bricks in his mattress and stuff like that. Yeah, it was wild. They're like, nigga, why you need gold bricks? Who are you, Scrooge McDuck?
Imagine trying to dive into a silo full of gold bricks, break your fucking neck.
But you mentioned earlier that the FBI agent Tim Harlan played again by Danny Huston in another insane role. That like he mentioned like, oh, we don't take him till the 4 tires are off the ferry, and then he talked about he had some quote about a weasel or some shit. I'm like, you just killing, you got fucking Scooby Doo villain. And then he had another one which I was like, you were fucking. Oh, when Nick Cage confronts MC Gainey, like because he's part of the whole like thing with Josh Lucas to try to like fuck him over to steal his daughter because they think that he steals the money from the first heist or whatever. They're hearing them fight. They have them dead to rights. Both of them.
Gunshots.
Both of them are criminals and guns. Yes, MC Gainey shoots a shotgun and he's just like, let the squirrels squabble and then we'll go after their horde. What? Bullets have been fired, sir, in a residential area. You are a law enforcement. Like, what are we doing? Terrible cops. And I was like, oh, so we're supposed to be okay with like police people in like high authority roles like this being fucking buffoons, but we're not supposed to be like, we're not supposed to like think, oh, they're so incompetent that they would kill innocent people.
Yeah.
The way that we represent these people on film is fucking nuts.
They are being outsmarted on a daily basis by low-level thieves.
Like I'm watching the show called The Offer, which is about the making of The Godfather, and apparently like mad Italian people were like, particularly people incorporated in the mafia, were very offended by The Godfather.
Yes.
Right. And so I'm like, if I'm a law enforcement officer and I watch this movie, I would be offended by this character. I'd be offended by Delroy Lindo and whatever the fuck Timothy Oliphant was doing in Gone for 60 Seconds. I'd be like, if these are detectives, you're getting paid good money.
Yeah. They're making
That's
fucking, they're making 6 figures.
Yeah. They're not making 25 an hour. And even back then in the 90s, that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This 2012. Okay. So when did the heist take place? Supposed to be 8 years before 2012?
Yeah, so I guess this is what, 2004?
Okay.
God, do the math, nigga.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just insane that they would leave Nick Cage. First of all, like him running, his running was crazy. He ran so slow he put a lot of effort into running slow.
Yo, well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to whoever made the fucking poster for this film, because that man said, fuck it. I'm just going to put Nick Cage as a vampire running because he looks crazy on the poster. But then again, after watching the film, he looks crazy when he's running.
Yes, Nick Cage, they try to make him have his Tom Cruise moment when he was running on top of all those cars on near Bourbon Street. And I was like, if he really did this, he looks like getting up and down those cars hurt. Like his knees. It's like they had to speed up an old man, just like
Brandon. So this is the thing about like movies and like some of the shit, the stunts that they pull off. When I say stunts, I don't mean like, stunt guy stunts. I'm just like stunts because it's bullshit. If I'm in traffic and some nigga runs across my car, I'm gonna tell you. So right now I got this tumbler here and I got it filled with water, right? Somebody runs over the roof and then the hood of my car. I'm chucking this nigga right about the back of his goddamn head. Cause ain't no way that nobody got out of their car like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And now again, this is New Orleans. I don't know why I said it like that, but either way, you telling me now one nigga put some hot shit in his back?
Oh yeah,
immediately.
Yeah. He's like, oh, well, your partner, you done done the wrong level.
Yeah, foghorn, leghorn ain't jumped out. It's like, I said, son, you did.
Well, I've never heard anyone in New Orleans talk like that.
Well, I mean, that's what you just tried.
No, I was trying to talk like a voodoo doctor or something, you know.
Was that what that was?
Yeah, I've never met a voodoo doctor in person, but I imagine maybe that's what they sound like.
Okay.
And then dressed like Pennywise from it.
In a clown outfit?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the costumes. That'd be crazy though.
Yeah, it would.
Imagine, like, I would pay that nigga. I know I wouldn't. Why did I say that? I would walk away. I would walk away if there's a dude talking in a Creole accent just to play Pennywise.
Yeah.
That's like, I'll pay that. Like, what am I talking about?
I would pay John Wayne Gracie to come and hang out with my kids.
Woo.
I said, son.
I did write down at the beginning, clearly a man wrote this because of the juvenile humor towards Malene Ackerman's character. Where they're like, oh yeah, we're ready to rock like Riley's diaphragm.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, what the fuck? He's
just like, oh yeah. And she's like, oh, I love being around guys because it always helps me figure out new terms that y'all using for pussy. And the guy's like, pussy. And I'm like, what is happening? This is supposed to be banter? This is supposed to show that they're friends?
Honestly, she didn't need to be in this film.
She literally was just eye candy.
First of all, you already had the damsel in distress, which is his daughter.
Yeah.
So what did she bring to this? It's like, oh, well, she's a woman. We could trust her.
Well, she's supposed to help him with the heist. He like that heist that they pulled off at the end with the melting of the gold. I'm like, so he could have just done that any day.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. That they're just like, oh yeah, like if he just ever had to really put things together in his head to commit a heist where he gets $10 million or something, he could do it.
But Brandon, you also got to realize that that's the same bank that he robbed at the beginning of the film.
Yep.
You're telling me 8 years later
he's able to be within 100 feet of that, and they're tailing him.
No, not even that. Not even that, Brandon. They have not upped the security in this bank 8 years later after they were robbed for $10 million. The insurance company, after you get robbed for $10 million, would be like, yo, first of all, you're gonna have to fix your shit.
Okay.
You're gonna have to fix your shit. You know, we're upping the security in this place.
Yeah.
Weighted sensors fucking everywhere. I want fucking laser beams. Get a dog. I want a nigga sitting in front of that goddamn safe. I want a nigga sitting in the safe. They have shit everywhere. They got robbed for $10 million cash.
Yes.
And then this motherfucker can go into a tunnel underneath the bank and just fucking squirt some hot fucking goo
through it, yeah.
and melt. What? That's insane.
Yeah.
And also,
only Nick Cage can do it.
Where the fuck did he get the actual tools that are able to melt gold that fast?
I wrote that down. I said, in theory, because of how hot you have to make gold to melt,
yeah,
he's dead, right? Like, or he's drenched in sweat. He had to do that naked practically.
Yeah,
you couldn't, like, because he's wearing like a full like outfit and shit, and she's just wearing like fucking outdoor gloves that grab the gold after it's been in the water.
She's got fucking gardening gloves.
Like, this isn't fucking chicken McNuggets from McDonald's. So you gotta let it sit longer.
They're cooling it.
But it was in the water for like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
and also that would have been just way too heavy.
Yes.
Because it's also going to solidify against whatever the fuck it dropped against. So like soil, like whatever that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it just was insane. That whole heist was insane. And then it's also like, what's Josh Lucas's crazy crippled ass going to do with a bunch of literally the bricks of gold? just muddle bricks of gold. Bro.
Like where, and that's like one of the things I always wondered about, like, you know, these heist movies and things like that. It's just like, where do you take that to get your money?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you have a gold dealer, or
Yeah.
do you have like, you know, is there a pawn shop that you know? But first of all,
Down at the pawn shop.
they're not going to give you the market value for it.
No,
They're
no.
going to undercut you. And then also, where do they get $10 million from?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like it's all the black market or some shit, but yeah, it's I don't know how that works, and I don't know how. And it was weird because it felt like after Will's daughter's capture, mind you, it's 8 years. The heist fell apart. He got abandoned basically.
Yeah.
After Josh Lucas tried to kill a janitor.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah, just kill time.
He runs over, punches him in the face, and then pulls out his gun. He's just like, I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna shoot him. This janitor's about to have the
mind
bullets.
you, this whole heist fell apart because of Josh Lucas's character.
Yeah.
If he hadn't spent maybe an extra because every second counts. When you're pulling up a heist like this, just in life in general, I think every second counts. But particularly in this situation, he spent like a good 6 to 7 seconds instead of helping Nicolas Cage. Actually, probably longer than that. Instead of helping him put money in the bag, he's just staring at the bricks of gold that's in a where there's a barrier
Yeah,
between.
with his hands in his pants, just stroking it.
And it's just like Jesus wept. And it's like, okay, you could have helped Nicolas Cage load more money. Then y'all could have cut your waiting time for him to be like, hey, focus, come help, or whatever, right? Like all that could have, and that would have saved the difference between him missing the car when MC Gainey drove off and not be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that includes probably the 30 seconds or whatever when Josh Lucas was arguing with him about killing the janitor and then shooting himself.
Oh no, they were there for longer than 30
yeah, because they had to carry him to the van.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all that is Josh.
Yeah, it's all his fault. Yeah, it's all his fault. It's 100% all his fault. See, here's the thing. Nicolas Cage should have left his ass right there.
Yeah.
Stop from killing that guy.
But I think that they're alluding, like that's why Riley thanked him for not ratting them out. I think Josh Lucas's character probably would have ratted them out.
True.
So it's like it all works out. Like, I mean, I don't think it worked out for anybody, but you know, it's so stupid. It was so stupid because if that's a crew that's been working together for a long time, then there's nothing about Josh Lucas's character at the beginning that alluded that he would be so bloodthirsty to ruin and potentially get away with $10 million.
Yeah. And like that's such a huge heist. It's just like, why? Why would you fuck with that?
And why would you want casualties? Like in that situation, if you after this point, you've gotten with no casualties, not even anyone injured, honestly.
It's a clean break.
Yeah, like essentially, like the community is not going to even care because you didn't rile up anybody. You just got away with it. People be like, "Oh shit, they got away with $10 million."
Good for you guys.
Yeah, like it just didn't make any sense.
But also, can we just say that that old man, not Negro certified? I see two niggas in the dead of night come out of a fucking bank running with things in hand. I say, hey, what are you boys doing over there? Nah. First thing I'm gonna be like, well, let me get in my car.
Yeah, especially in the dead of night.
Yeah,
bro.
What the fuck was he doing in that house?
Yeah. I mean, he was homeless. I think he was an unhoused person.
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't know. He could just been the disheveled black man. But there was no one in the streets, like when except for that drunk fat dude at the beginning.
Yeah.
Who was pissing on himself.
Okay, he was a janitor. Yes. He was a janitor in the back out. Okay, so if he's the janitor's in the back out.
I don't know why I said he was in the house, but he didn't look well.
Well, I mean, he also got the dog shit beat out of him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he got muffed in the fucking face.
Yeah.
You know, he hit that fucking. He got that 2-piece.
Yeah, Josh Lucas really went to town on him.
Yeah, and then he was gonna shoot him. It was like, well, first of all, like, if you continue running, he can't see your face.
Yeah,
and it's in the middle of the night. And it's dark.
Yeah, it would have been better if Josh Lucas, I guess, played at the beginning, like when he's playing, Benson and Will are doing the heist. If he was a little bit more eager, like just amped up, like let's say he did like a line of coke or something like that before, like he's just kind of like he needs to get satisfaction for something, and if he couldn't get it from the gold, that's why he did it. Was like, I'm gonna kill this dude. Like I gotta get something off.
Now, then the other end of this is okay. when they're sitting in that car, hanging out, before, because Nicolas Cage got to play his song.
Yeah.
Um, which I have a question for you after this.
Okay.
So he has to play his song, and like the police are kind of they're on to them already. It's just like, who snitched
About
about the heist?
oh,
How did they know exactly where they were going to be the exact time?
I think they were tracking them, similar
No,
to what they started doing when he got out of jail.
they're like, he's been casing this place for X amount of time.
Which is why it's so insane. They just like hung around while he's committing the crime.
Yeah,
Like if you've been casing him for months, you have this is the build up to the crime.
yeah,
You have a trail. Like it made no sense.
yeah. Like, all your evidence is the fact that you know what their goddamn plan is.
And mind you, by doing that, see now we're just fucking machine gun this
Oh
plot.
yeah.
It's just fucking full of cheese holes. But it's like with that logic, if they've been tracking him, that they would know his relationship with like Riley and Vincent, right? So then if this nigga gets out of jail and you're literally picking him up to show him, hey, we're still watching you and shit. And
Mm-hmm.
he's still like within an hour of seeing his daughter, who then leaves him, he goes to see an old associate that he used to do crimes with.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and within a day, they're on him again because Vincent like is like, hey, I'm alive and I stole your daughter. But it's like they would be on him anyway.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I mean,
They probably would have arrested him because I imagine that'd be against his probation and be to go within the space
yes.
of associated
Well, no,
criminals,
because
right?
if she doesn't have a record, if she's not a felon,
Okay. Yeah.
so like,
if.
yeah, so that's like,
I think she was bartending though. She didn't own that bar, so I'm just
she was working at a cop bar.
okay.
She's working at a cop bar.
Yeah.
So it's like, she's like, so it keeps me on the up and up. It keeps me from being dirty or whatever.
Yeah.
No, being from the wrong. That's what they said. It keeps me from the wrong.
Again, I don't know if David Guggenheim is an American citizen. English definitely was the second language because he said some wild stuff in this.
Let's see. Oh,
There's some wild.
he's from Long Island.
There's some wild dialogue in this, man. Like I'm like Vincent at one point. This is again lends to the script matching George Lucas's insanity, where he says, I'm broker than a dead dick dog."
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
when we saw that fake leg when he got out of the cab, because mind you, Nick Cage,
Terminator ass leg.
it was not Terminator, bro. That was. We'll talk about the leg. I can talk about the leg conservatively for 30 minutes. Just
No.
we'll talk. Okay. When he gets out of jail, he's immediately told by Riley, hey, no, he's told by the cop, the FBI dude, hey, Vincent died.
Yeah.
He like got caught up probably with some wrong people. Like they essentially allude that the whole crew fell apart after Nick Cage went to do his bid.
Yeah, which could
make sense because he's probably the mastermind, also the dude that clearly could see things through.
And he wasn't a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, and he wasn't losing his. Yeah, it actually all like Nick Cage's arc is very clear. It's kind of insane what happens with the daughter because he goes from 8 years not seeing her. He shows up at her doorstep. She's like, mind you, she's like, oh yeah, this package mysteriously came for you today.
Yeah,
the day you got released. I'm not worried about that. You're not worried about that. My mom's out of town.
It was like, yeah, she with the new nigga that she fucking. Yeah, so like, so
it just made no sense.
Yeah.
There's no one to check in on this girl because no one knew her dad was coming home. So no one was looking for her when she just disappeared for the hours that Josh Lucas is driving her around the trunk.
I'll tell you who did know her dad was coming home. All the fucking criminals.
Everybody do. Yeah, that's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, so you don't know that your dad's getting out. It's just like, and
also the mom doesn't know? Question mark? Like that would be, if the criminals know, then the mom could have found out too.
So,
and what did you think? Oh, he's probably day one going to come here. I shouldn't be out of town getting some dick.
So this is the if. And like, this is a big thing in films and, all over the place where they're just like, I went to prison for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Well, this is a big thing in Nicolas Cage films, but like, I've been in prison for 8 years. I'm not going to see you, to your child that entire time. I don't want you to see me like that. I was a bad person. Right. Okay. I understand maybe why you think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
But you're gonna tell me that her mother never showed up to that prison, not once, to like, it's like, hey, your dad's in prison, we should go visit him. If I went to prison for any fucking reason and Paula don't show up, the first thing I'm doing when I get is like, is going back to prison. It was like, what is like, I would have had to give her strict instructions like, hey, you cannot come and visit me because people are looking for me. And if they see you, you immediately become a target. That's a reason. That's a fucking reason.
Yeah.
But for you to not see your daughter for 8 fucking years and you're okay with that? And for your wife, girlfriend, ex-lover to some, like, never once has she stepped foot in that fucking place of fucking of criminals just to give you the solace to even say it's like, hey, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Something like that. But this fact is just like, yeah, no longer exists anymore. That would turn me into fucking Bane.
You just come out of jail. You're on the plane that she's going to get her new dick.
Yes.
With the new dick, like, oh, you thought you could escape me. I got on the records this morning. And now the fire starts. And he just jumps. The plane crashes. He's just parachuting into New Orleans. But what about our daughter?
You'll never see your daughter again.
But what about our daughter? I'll be daddy now.
But you already are her daddy. Well, yeah, I guess I'm just going to be daddy once again. It's just like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine. Let's say Paula went to prison.
Sorry, that's just wild.
Yeah, Paul. What would she go to prison for?
Murdering you.
Probably so. That's what I think she'd go to prison for.
I feel like both of our wives, if anyone heard that like either of our wives were in jail, they'd be like, for killing the husband, right?
So, all right, there are a litany of reasons I could be in prison.
Be like, oh, someone finally tested Justin.
What? Oh,
You're always waiting.
See, you know what?
Yeah.
You said tested. I'm just like, wait a second. What do I got?
I'm like, oh yeah. How many sides did he kill the man with?
Yeah, nigga just do ninja stars from the darkness.
And then he screamed, I've been waiting for this my whole life.
Oh yeah, motherfucker. You don't know what you just did.
Do the police report for any like assault you do in the house. If it's like, especially if it's home invasion. Oh, it's gonna be, the transcript's gonna be hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Just play the home security tape. Don't you come in my nigga. I'm gonna barbecue you, nigga.
Me just talking to him. Fuck him up, and then he wakes up, and I'm just standing over him. It's like, so you thought you'd really come into my house, huh?
I can just see like the legs of the intruder just in the ground as you're pummeling them. And just they're obviously dead, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is for Timmy when he beat me up in 2nd grade. You're just thinking of all your anger. You never got beat up?
I never got beaten up. I mean, like brothers and things like that. We fought. I never got beaten up by like a bully or anything like that.
Okay. And you don't think anyone ever have a grudge of like this nature where they would kidnap one of your boys?
No, I don't have any. I don't have any.
You know how many enemies that would leave a BlackBerry Bold for you in a mysterious package and then say, I'm going to just drive around with your child. The child that, mind you, okay, we got to talk about that crazy ass dispatcher.
Oh my God. Oh my God. He was trying. I
need to know if he was from New Orleans. If he's not from New Orleans.
No, he is definitely not from New Orleans. That nigga ain't from this planet.
So crazy.
And when I say nigga, I mean Niggr. He is not from this planet. That was nuts.
That guy was fuck. What was his name? LaFleur?
I
think so.
Yeah.
I think it was LaFleur.
Like, just holy shit.
Just the way he was talking. The way there were some lines that actually did make me chuckle quite a bit. There were some things that did make me say like, okay, this is funny, right? Um, but like, okay, LaFleur, let's stick with the dispatcher for a second. He's talking in such a crazy manner, in that Creole accent. And he's just like, because he's talking about Josh Lucas's character who's going under a different name now, because obviously he faked his death, is Vincent. And he's like, he don't give me no problems, but he scares my kids. They in the 20s. It was just like, what? The way he delivered it was just so bad. Also, Josh Lucas's photo that he showed him from his employee records, that nigga had two black eyes. But you hired that man. What the fuck, New Orleans?
Like, you hiring this motherfucker? You got people who cannot get a job, and you hire a motherfucker that caught two eye jammies in the same week. Like, what's going on here? Like, of course this man's about to commit a crime. Of course he is. He obviously has debts. And this nigga's missing fingers, and a whole leg. Do you not look at this guy? It's like, maybe this is not the guy. He's got missing fingers, he's got a missing leg, and he's got two fucking eye jammies. Like, what are you guys thinking? He looks at me, he's just like, this man's so scared. I gotta get on my job. But don't worry, little pups. Speaking to his kids, y'all may be 20 years old, but I never let him come out your closet now. And we just gonna sit down and have some gumbo. Like, what is happening?
Everyone talked crazy in this movie. I mean, even the detective to the guy, LaFleur, he's like, be a peach and show me his photo.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like, be a peach. Like, what are we talking
about? You like, oh, I do declare you are inclined. I'm just like, oh.
I did laugh really hard with Nicolas Cage. He gets arrested and he said, you got to listen to me. And the black detective was like, no, we don't.
Yep.
I was like, the realest shit that's been said this whole movie.
No, we don't.
He's like, hey, man, I got to talk. Like, no, you don't. This could be a silent movie.
Yep.
Also, when the phone was ringing and he's like, if it gets to 8 rings, my kid dies, right?
Yeah.
Then he assaults the officers, crashes their car, probably kills a few of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, by the time the car,
they at least have a crazy concussion.
By the time the car crash ended, I was like, the eighth rung has happened.
Oh yeah,
your daughter's gone.
Oh yeah.
Mind you, I don't think Josh Lucas was ever going to kill her.
Well, at the end, he was going to kill her. He was going to set that bitch ablaze.
Well, I mean, at the end, he was. I didn't understand what his end game was. I was like, okay, is he planning on still killing Nick Cage after he gets whatever money he thinks he has?
Sure.
But does he really think he can? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had a gun.
Okay, but so did Nick Cage at that point.
Yeah, but at that same time, he was just like, well, I got this gun. The gun is a great equalizer. If he has to drag over all of, that damn gold or even just a bag of money, it would have been enough time for him to have, he couldn't drag that money and also take a gun out to kill. Well, then again, Josh Lucas' character was about to shoot a man at the beginning while carrying a bag of money.
True. He's insane. When the girl gets out the trunk and he whipped his hair back, I laughed so hard because I'm like, I don't think they intended for him to look like one of those dudes from what's the makeup show with the gay guys?
Oh,
Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. Mm-hmm. Like he looked like that. Like the way he whipped his hair back and shit. And then he ran after the little girl and then he grabs her. Mind you, he's about to put a syringe in her neck. He's about to drug her up like some real fucking creep.
Yep.
And then he goes, you must not remember me. Oh, to think about it though, you were a little girl. So you maybe didn't see me that much. And it was like, I was like, what just happened?
Well, it's also crazy that they're driving. He drives. She's like, "Where are you taking me? Where are we?" And he's just like, he pulls out the syringe. He's just like, I hate to have to do this to you, but your daddy. I'm just like, what?
He locks the doors and he walks around just like, he kept spewing madness and it got crazier. And it's just like, niggas, as soon as someone says something that's completely unrelated to your conversation, or you're not even talking to them, or you ask, like you just said, Justin, hey, where are you taking me? And they're like, the Corinthians once said. I'd be like, nope. I'd be like, no. That's not what I asked.
Yo. Also, the fact is, I'm going to tell you right now. Now, all right. Story time with Uncle Justin.
Okay.
So before we get into that, I want to preface like this. She should have at least put some serious hands on him when he was trying to get her with that first syringe.
Mm.
This nigga got one fucking leg, and he got
Yeah.
4 fingers.
Mind you, every time he walks on that bad leg, whatever the fuck that mechanic was, it looked like it hurt.
Yo, first of all, I would have kicked that fucking leg out from under him, would have crumbled his ass.
Oh yeah, all you gotta do is kick it to the left, and he does a split.
No, you kick it to the back.
Oh yeah,
And he's just gonna face plant.
just kick it to the back. If you know what it's good side, kick it to the front. Spice Girls fight. All
Okay,
right.
so here's story time. So there was
about
this
Spice Girls.
No. There was this dude who went to high school named Alex. I know his last name.
I know a lot of dudes that went to high school.
And Alex, there was this other kid that was on his bus, who who's on like crutches, right?
Okay.
And Alex was teasing this dude, right? And like, well, I talk about crutches, like kind of like Timmy.
Yeah.
Wait, no, Jimmy, South Park.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
That shit was bad funny though. That character is so funny. Fuck you.
That's the best impression I've ever heard you do.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That character always made me laugh. Like it was funny.
So, all right. So like, this kid, Alex, he's fucking with this guy.
Yeah.
Keeps on. Eventually this dude lost it. He pulls himself up in the seat.
Okay.
And fucking goes across the seat like a goddamn orangutan.
Oh shit.
He climbs to the back and just slings his body on top of him and beats the dog shit out of him.
Okay.
And part of that is because when you're on those fucking
your guns
his arms are fucking his upper body. You didn't want to arm wrestle that.
Yeah, he's like Joe from Family Guy.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because he's dragging around dead weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he had something. He had something in his legs, but like some feeling. But like obviously, they weren't normal functioning. But like those dudes are really fucking strong. Now I say that to say that this man ain't that.
I mean, he had a 6-pack. Josh Lucas is still like shredded that way, but
ain't no way. Ain't no
way.
No.
If he was
the rest of it with looking like that,
if he was that poor, he wouldn't look like that. He would look
emaciated.
Yeah, he would either look emaciated or he would be eating all trans fats and he would have like man boobs and shit.
Yeah,
he wouldn't look well. It did not match. It looked like homeless Jesus.
He would look far more.
Almost? What if he's a carpenter? Which they didn't make much money. Because it was like everyone's a carpenter. Look around, nigga. We all built this shit.
When you start whittling wood, you ain't doing that.
Just like, oh, you doing the one thing everyone else did?
Well, no. It was like if you're just like, was he a carpenter by trade or was he a carpenter just like just by circumstance? You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey man, I'm gonna make you a wooden bunny.
Is that how you think Jesus taught?
That would be nuts.
Why would he talk like a black?
Because it's like he's not doing
like a black car dealer in the 70s in Harlem. Why do he talk like that?
Hey man, what the fuck? Hey baby, this is a Chevrolet. This is a Chevy Impala. It's 1974.
You want me to carry what and put myself on what? Anyway, all right.
Only 500 down.
Woo. Speaking of poverty, why did every adult character in this? Why did every character, when we like saw a little bit of their domestic life, and they all look like they were like the adult poor characters in the Disney animated movie from like the 60s, like the aristocrats and some shit. Like I was like, why is everyone living in squalor? Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, the team really fell apart after you took a bid. I'm like, why would you rest all your financial security on Nick Cage?
Well, no, it's because nobody else was smart enough to be able to do this without being a fucking, without being a goddamn animal.
So then that's the thing is, I like going back to our first conversation about the heist at the beginning. He's the number one priority then. Because not
Yes.
only does he have all the money, he has the smarts.
Yeah.
So if any of us do get caught, we should trust that he's going to figure some shit out to at least get us the least amount of time. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because you're right. He should have left Josh Lucas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or he should have just he should have just like, hey, nobody dies, taken the gun from him, and let's get in the fucking car. That's it. It's over. You don't have to fight him and all that. Yeah. Just take the gun out of his hand and be like, "Oh man, just be very grateful. You didn't see us. Yeah. Walk."
Also, can we talk about again the FBI agents trailing Nick Cage this whole time? They decide that they're going to pull off this heist where they they melt gold through the bank floor or whatever. Mind you, this is after MC Gainey just got killed by the FBI agents who, again, had Nick Cage dead to rights, and he somehow still gets away. They didn't have any agents on the ground ready for him to pop down at all angles of the building. Yep. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
He would have been everywhere.
Yeah.
This motherfucker's doing parkour.
So after all that, after he's already evaded your dudes, and you know this, and you're like, as much as I'm trying to plan
for occasion, because you never evaded them when they were tailing at the beginning.
Yeah, and it's like I'm trying to plan for every contingency, right? Mm-hmm. So then why would you wait when this nigga's on a ferry? He's in an isolated space. Literally, he can't go anywhere but a body of water where it's easy for you to track. Mm-hmm. Unless he's a super swimmer.
Yep.
You should be good.
Michael Phelps.
Yeah, you should be okay. Like, you should get him.
Yep.
Now. He's like, wait. And so I'm like, this whole movie, because at the end when he's like, throw the gold so I don't have to go after you anymore. Mm-hmm. I can rest or whatever the fuck. Yeah. So I'm like, this whole time you're rooting for him not to do the crime. Why don't you just help him find his daughter then?
Yeah. Because he also didn't want to believe him. He thought that it's like, so stupid. Yeah, you coming in here and you just trying to get me again. It's all a ruse. And now, mind you, he didn't speak like that.
No, but he should have. Yeah, they all should have talked in crazy New Orleans accents.
Because, like, I'm pretty sure ain't nobody moving to New Orleans from the big city, New York, or something like that. To be
if they're good at their job.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like he's a guy who's like New Orleans bred. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to know the city.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You do. Yeah, for sure.
You have to be like in the pulse of the city and things like that. So you ain't just getting some random dude who's going to come down and be the new guy, the new head detective. Yeah. So like,
wait, now if you are a police officer or you work in any kind of like law enforcement down in New Orleans, we would love to hear about your experience. Hit us up at speakpipe.com/media popcorn. Let us know what it's like being a cop down there.
You know what?
If you ever fought a gator. What? That's awesome, man. You want to hear that story?
About a motherfucker fighting a gator?
Yeah, it's like, hey, man, I was doing patrol down Lake Swambalaka, and then I'm so bad.
Listen, first of all, if you're doing patrol down there and you come across a gator and you're a police officer,
why are you talking like that?
I don't know. It's this movie is getting to me. And your first instinct is to go pop, pop, pop in that gator. You're wrong. You're wrong. If you just like, oh, there's a gator over there in the street now. All right, man. I'm going to take off my shirt. Me and you, gator, one-on-one. No. It's pop, 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 gator. Now I'm going to make some shoes out of you.
Man, I really would love to wrestle a gator. If I knew I could win, that'd be kind of cool. You don't think so?
Nope. I ain't trying to wrestle no gator. You know what they do, right?
What do they? Oh, they hit you with the tail, right?
No,
because the tail can fuck you up.
They'll fucking drown you. They drown you.
Also, they'll like hit me so hard, like they'll aim to get me in a body of water and just like put their weight on top.
If you're fucking around with a gator, the last thing you want to do is get in the water with, because they know how to drown you. They'll like also like, you know how they like they'll spin and shit like that.
Yeah.
They'll spin
disorient you. And shit
like they know how to fucking drown you.
Yeah, you be in the chest and they clamp onto you and spin you around to drown you.
Yeah.
It's like a anaconda.
Yo, animals do not play no fucking game.
This is true.
I'm clapping right now if you ain't watched the video. Animals do not play no fucking games.
Right. Well, there we go. I'm just looking at my notes because I have so many notes from this shit.
Yeah, because
I
the
mean,
movie's
there was
nuts.
that Australian dude that jumped into Josh Lucas's car. It was like, mate, I haven't had my dong bickered since I've been here. I was like,
Oh yeah,
I
that
was
was
like, one, I
wild.
feel like this guy is not Australian,
Yeah,
and then two, who the fuck wrote that dialogue?
yeah.
That's crazy.
You think that was improvised?
Maybe, but like no, because it's in line with other terrible dialogue that made no
True.
sense. That was
True.
particularly about dicks.
Yeah.
Um, oh, can we talk about how Nick Cage just popped up at NC Gainey's apartment like he's Batman, just sitting in that chair? He's like, hey man, mind you, again, this is the second associate you've now like hung around, and there's no way MC Gainey didn't have any priors,
Yeah.
so he's already like violating probation.
Well, I mean, he already violated probation
Like
earlier
going
on
to a
in the
bar,
film.
probably.
What?
I feel like probably like by going to a bar, even
Yeah,
like
he could go to a bar.
I imagine if like
Like
because if
he
you have a
just can't
felony,
smoke weed.
but you can go to like a bar and like consume alcohol. I thought there's
Yeah.
sometimes very strict
No,
things on.
like if he had a fucking DWI, a DUI or something like
Okay,
that,
yeah,
then obviously there may be drinking restrictions on him, stuff like that. But that's that's case by case.
yeah,
Like, but for his case, no, he could go into a bar. It's like,
okay,
how do you think niggas become bouncers?
it's true.
They go to prison. They're just like, well, if I still can beat up, I might as well get paid for it.
I'm looking through. I hated the score of this movie. It was like Pink Panther with some Big Bang band or some shit. It was so stupid. Um, mind you, everybody, the villain just drives around New Orleans
Yeah.
while Nick Cage is just fucking breaking a sweat, just trying to figure something out.
So, all right, you know why this was filmed in New Orleans, right?
Tax credits.
No, because Nick Cage, he uh he bought like this huge estate.
Oh, he just
Uh,
want to be close to home.
yeah, and then like this is after the tax problems and everything like that.
Yeah,
So imagine he's just like, I want to just film it here.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I give him my all.
Yeah.
I'll even run for you.
So like I think that this wasn't even set to be in New Orleans. It was
Bro.
just like it was just convenient and it'd be a little cheaper.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean,
I've
everything
got
about this movie felt so discounted. Like when they did the fake out when she drives away from the ferry and there's the dummy, which I could see a mile away.
yeah.
Like how as a cop did you not see that? I was just like, how they why did they do that? And also how do they afford to pay people to do these decoys and shit? It must be so devastating down there. Also, where did Nick Cage get the money to pull off this heist?
Yeah.
Because even when he paid for like a new cell phone, he like threw $30 or whatever at the lady.
Yeah.
I'm like,
These are
where do you?
crumpled up bills.
I'm like, buddy, when you got out of jail, you probably got like what $100.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, there's no way he had enough money to afford the equipment he needed, and there's no way Millian Ackerman. I'm sorry, she's a bartender in a cop bar, but still, like,
I mean, unless she's sucking off some cops that are on the take.
I mean, it's possible. She seemed like the kind of chick that could be a. She's pretty enough where she could be like a sugar baby
Oh, 100%.
for a few detectives. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
yeah.
You know what? Let's not do that.
No,
I
that's not too.
imagine, she doesn't have to be doing those sorts of things.
I would.
Huh?
I would. If I was like that and I was like open and I was free and sexual, sure.
I mean, you talk about like now, you would do that?
Like, what do you mean?
No,
Now.
no, like no. All right, so Tati's not here. You're not married to Tati.
Okay.
It's all you. You're living in New Orleans. You're working at a bar. You're Brandon Collins.
Mm-hmm. And some women want to take care of me?
So, man,
I don't think so.
you
I would have to be in some dire straits to flip on my sexual preference. It would have to be a
mm,
rough. That would have to be the rough time on it.
You'd have to look. You'd have to look like Josh Lucas in this film. You have to have one leg.
That's what's so crazy is like everything that like he was complaining about. I'm like, this is your decision.
Yeah,
This is on you. Like, and not one time did a character confront him about that.
yeah.
Not one time was someone like, shut the fuck up, you big baby.
Oh,
This is all your fault, nigga.
so all right. This is the question I wanted to ask you earlier.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna commit a heist,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I'm listening.
You're gonna go in there.
Mhm.
You're gonna get this fucking money, right?
Yeah, I like the positive thinking.
What's the song you're playing before you go in?
Oh, the song I'm hyping myself up to.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Am I about to do cocaine when I'm listening to the song?
whatever you want to do,
I
Brandon.
probably shouldn't do cocaine just because I'm already excitable. Just say I'm just trying to think, put my head.
You just added cocaine to the,
Trying to put my
for
mind.
no reason.
I'm trying to get myself in the right mindset.
So obviously you want to be Josh Lucas's character. Go
I
on.
do not want to be that nigga. But unfortunately, I probably would end up being the crazy.
Yeah, if you're just like, am I doing cocaine and how much?
I'd probably play like an Eminem song or something like that, or maybe maybe like old '90s LL Cool J, like
Like, I'm bad. It's the 80s.
or Mama Said Knock You Out, probably just because I need something that's aggressive, but also still a little bit like family friendly.
Okay.
That's LL Cool J, or it could be like a Will Smith '90s song. Parents just don't understand. It's like they don't, and that's why I'm robbing banks.
Parents just don't understand that money don't grow on trees. They grow in banks. And I'm going to get it.
That's such a crazy thing to listen to. You're just like, this is the reason why I had to do this because mom and dad didn't love me. Justin, what would be your song?
I don't know, but hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
I was listening to fucking Summertime
Okay.
earlier today. You know what? Will Smith doesn't get the credit. That's a good ass fucking song.
Yeah, man. Old Fresh Prince stuff. Like just because he like it's funny you bring that up because I'm reading his book and he's starting to talk about that. Like,
Yeah.
the impression that like other hip hop, like he never got the respect from like hip hop because he, grew up with a two-family household. And like it was essentially everything like Donald Glover complains about now and stuff like that with his raps. But yeah, man, he was a representation for like other types of black people. Like we are not a monolith.
Yeah, and he was fucking good.
Yeah,
Like
and
that song is a fucking banger.
He was charming and stuff, and he wasn't always like, "Oh, the hoes got to suck my dick, and I got to fucking,
do that shit in private."
Yeah, I sold this crack to this chick, and now the baby dead. Brenda's got a baby. You don't have to do any of that.
Rule, baby. All right, so if I'm playing a song
right before you rob a bank or pull up a heist,
pull up a heist. Oh shit! You know, one of my favorite albums. I know it's kind of people ain't gonna like that.
It's gonna be R. Kelly.
No, it's Best of Both Worlds. R. Kelly and Jay-Z. They got that song.
That was not Best of Both Worlds, by the way.
Yes, it was.
That album was garbage.
Oh, wait, what?
Well, continue your story.
Did you just say the Best of Both Worlds album was garbage?
It's not a good album.
Brandon, you the dick.
That's not a good album.
I'd probably go Get This Money. You got what I want. I got what you need. Let's put it together. Get this money.
If you did that to me before we're supposed to pull up eyes, I'd be like, we're not going to get this money. We're going to fail.
Quit.
We're going to fail spectacularly.
Yep.
All right. Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
Stop calling me baby. So, guys, you know how we do this. We rate movies, bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any of this fresh, succulent popcorn, we throw it into a pile of stale popcorn because that's where it belongs. Yep. Stale. Brandon, we sat down and watched a 2012 film starring Nicolas Cage and Josh Lucas and a bunch of other ragtag idiots called Stolen. What say you, sir?
Well, you already given away your rating if you're calling the rest of the cast idiots. People tried in this.
Of course they did.
They tried. Making a movie is not easy.
Oh, I know.
I'll say that.
I know. I've been in some bad movies.
But that's why you also need to be mindful of if you're making a bad movie, you need to try to figure something out. Mm-hmm. This movie had a $35 million budget, grossed only $18 million. This is going to get 35 piles of stale popcorn. But with the caveat, Josh Lucas is wildly entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Like if you could just find a YouTube video of like all Josh Lucas's scenes for this movie, it's worth it. Like that's probably 7 minutes together. I think that's worth it. Yeah. Even without the context of the movie, because you don't really need it to just get how insane he was and enjoy and laugh and shit. Like it's not
even his voiceovers are ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not like the The Room, where you have to watch it from start to finish to get like an idea of how insane and bonkers this is. It's like, no, just watch those scenes and you'll be like, oh, this nigga's wild. Like, because he doesn't fit with the rest of the movie. He's so insane. But then the movie's just dumb. Like, if you take him out of the equation, he's the only thing that's exciting about. Nick Cage is kind of doing, by like he's just going through the motions, which makes sense now that you said that he lived in New Orleans at the time.
Yeah.
It's like he's just like, oh yeah, I'm just going. This is my 9 to 5. They filmed it all during the day. They had the one night shoot for the heist at the beginning. Other than that, it was all during the day. Even the epilogue is during the day. Like he got to film everything. There was no night shoots beyond that first scene. So this is probably a cakewalk for him.
Yeah.
And it felt rushed. Like the way it was cut, the way that it was just paced. The ADR is terrible. Like it just, Josh Lucas somehow being the saving grace of this movie is not enough because it's just nonsensical. And the fact that Nick Cage's character also brings a stuffed animal for his daughter the same way he did in Con Air.
And she's like 17 or
That's
18.
insane.
Yeah.
Also, the daughter's storyline was just crazy. This girl got drugged and abducted. At the end, she's just making barbecue with her dad and his new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Mind you, where the fuck is mom? Because should her mom even be like, where's Nick Cage staying? Is he staying with his daughter at the mom's house?
And
did he get his own place? If he got his own place, shouldn't he be in a halfway house because he's on probation?
Yeah.
Like there were so many questions I had. Anyways, Justin, what's your rating, baby?
Stop calling me baby. I'm gonna give this movie is 96 minutes and is gonna get
it was 96 minutes, but it felt 4 hours.
Yes, it did. This is gonna get a pile of stale popcorn for every single minute. So 96 piles of stale popcorn. It is a mess.
It's very
also on top of that, Josh Lucas at the end when he springs out of the water
like Aquaman.
Yeah, looking like he's fucking melting. I'm just like, what is happening right now?
Question: Was that self-defense or did Nick Cage like actually murder him? Because he impaled him, then essentially cut him in half with the hood of the car. The trunk of the car, right?
No, he just pushed him in the trunk and he pushed it into the.
Oh, okay. I thought like his body was still sticking out halfway through when he closed the trunk. Okay.
So he's definitely it's self-defense because they're letting him off on this. And it's also everything that he did, he was trying, it's because someone kidnapped his daughter. Yeah. So all this acts under duress.
And to be fair, there's documentation of him going to the FBI office and being like, this is what's happening to me.
Yes.
So they actually, in theory, this is if he had a good lawyer. If this fictional character was able to get a great lawyer, he could sue the FBI.
Oh, 100%.
He could be like, y'all like were harassing me. Then I actually come to you for help. And you laughed at me and forced me to do these extreme things that cause like, you know what? Wow. Yeah, there could be a huge loss. That nigga wouldn't have that job then to be able to follow him at the end for the tag.
No, he's just like,
that makes no sense.
Please keep something so I can arrest you and I can save my career.
Well, that's what the partner was doing, or whoever that guy was, because that guy was driving Danny Houston around at some point. So I'm like, are you partners or are you a chauffeur?
His partner.
That idiot had this dude driving him, the younger dude driving him, and he had some poor young woman stirring his coffee for him. I'm like, but he's a fucking imbecile. He's not solving these crimes.
First of all, sir, I look at you and I would say to you, how dare you speak of me in that way?
You sound like a Cajun vampire.
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, y'all know you can follow me as always at Frodo_Blackens on Threads and Instagram. You can follow the show at Media MP Podcast on all social media platforms, including TikTok and X or whatever it's called now. You can leave us voicemail at speakpipe.com/mediapopcorn. You get 90 seconds to let us know how you feel about the show, any suggestions. And if you were a law enforcement officer in New Orleans, we want to hear from you. What was your experience like? And how much does it align with the fucking imbeciles in Stolen by Nicolas Cage? Remember, y'all, this is on Amazon Prime and Peacock, so you can definitely watch it.
Yeah, anytime you want. Anytime you want.
Do you think
it should be on YouTube?
Do you think that's the case? Because I've heard rumors that some of these streamers might be closing down soon, or at least by the end of the year. So I wonder if that means they just won't renew, memberships.
Honestly,
or would they just abruptly stop and be like, "Hey"?
I don't see Amazon Prime going anywhere.
No, Amazon and Apple, like, even though they have like the lowest viewership, probably,
yeah,
they're here to stay.
And Amazon, Apple, and Netflix. I think those are going to be good.
Yeah.
The other ones, because they're mostly based, on film and everything like that. I think that those are the ones that you're gonna kind of have to worry about because it was just
Mm,
like, yeah, pull the plug on it. We'll just go back to theaters.
yeah.
You know, because also Amazon is like they'll just buy movies. That everybody else is making movies. They don't have to worry about it. They don't
Yeah.
have to fund it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
You're right. Yeah. They
that
just
money.
Yeah, just want content and stuff. But anyways,
Guys, you can follow
yeah.
me at J Brown Did It on all the socials. But of course, you can follow this show and you can make this show even better than it already is
Hmm.
by going to patreon.com/medium
That's
popcorn. We
right.
have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages. Our entire backlog is on Patreon. We also have bonus episodes. We have bonus shows. Patreon is where it's at. Again, that's patreon.com/medium popcorn.
Medium popcorn. We are two ninjas spoil the movies. All right, y'all. We hope you all been enjoying. Well, you did enjoy Nick Cage month. This
Yeah.
is us putting a bow on that. If you have other suggestions for movie stars that we should do dedicate a whole month to, or maybe even a director, writer, theme, email us at mediumpod@gmail.com, or again, leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/medium popcorn. Um, Yuvi's asking in the chat, was this everything we expected from Nick Cage? I mean, I
You know what?
I think there's such a thing as too much Cage.
You know what? We should have done his Oscar-winning performance.
Yeah, I mean, or Oscar nominated work at least, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should have incorporated a few more of those. Like, because I think about adaptation. Adaptation's fantastic. He's really good in that. Leaving Las Vegas is really heavy, so I'm kind of glad we didn't do that one. That's a really heavy one. But Elizabeth Shoes, God Lordy.
Elizabeth Shue.
But yeah,
I'm
folks,
you.
let us know what y'all thought about Nick Cage month. Again, you can leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/medium popcorn, or you can hit us up on all the social media
We should do a
platforms.
Delroy Lindo month.
Oh, that'd be fun. We could do Congo finally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
We haven't done Congo.
We've never done Congo.
No, we did it for a Zoom night, didn't we?
No, we've never done Congo, bro.
Oh my God.
And I think we promised homie Dando. Oh, did we do it? Anyways, folks, let us know. We're thinking about Delroy Lindo month though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Talk to y'all soon.
Peace.